All right, so after reading and looking over the Humane Society of West Michigan website, um, firstly, what can the West Michigan Humane Society do to their webpage to make it more friendly? I think it looks great in a lot of ways. The font could be darker on the click tab on the menu. The options that come up underneath each category is kind of a light gray, and I think it could be darkened. I would love to see like a help tab or a resource tab a little bit more centralized. I think at least when I think of a humane society, I think of, you know, last resort option for either finding a place for an animal I found or a resource for an emergency, or even like I think a lot of people don't really know what to do when they find a skunk or a bird or another wild animal. And so even though the West Michigan Humane Society isn't geared towards that, I think that might be a place people look. And so having a link to more resources to help in other departments that they can't help with might be beneficial, because the whole side of animal rescue is kind of a fuzzy area for people. Otherwise, I did see there was obedience tabs. I think that being more centralized too, especially if they're trying to prevent people from rehoming animals. More just information on how to prevent that situation from having to happen. Otherwise, the signature events or programs I think that the West Michigan Humane Society should do. I know the Bark in the Park was suggested. That's always fun. I did see they had like a cork and like a wine event or something. I would love to see more like senior adoption events, and that could kind of correlate too with maybe working in old folks' homes and using community resources that maybe work with the elderly, also working with elderly animals, things like that to help promote the adoption of animals that aren't as likely of candidates. Otherwise, special needs is always another one too. I think working with maybe even like a Boys and Girls Club or Girl Scouts or other organizations or specific special needs organizations that could work with the animals and help volunteer at adoption events might be able to tug on all the heartstrings. And I wrote down too the like prisoner aspect. I didn't really see anything on there, which kind of surprised me, about any programs working with prisoners and dogs. I've heard of a lot of things where people that are in prison, specifically like non-violent crimes, help dogs who need training before they can be adopted, and it ended up being a really successful partnership multiple times with helping usually men in prisons gain confidence, training an animal, trusting that animal, and vice versa, the dog gaining confidence in a person, learning obedience, and being able to be rehomed. So I think there's a lot of opportunities working with animals and other local needs. I don't know exactly what, this area might be specifically needing currently, but I think in utilizing the need of the surrounding area with what animals are for adoption and what events could cater to that would be really beneficial to get more adoptions out.